It was only a matter of time.
All of our fight, all of our sacrifice has bought us this one day.
He's ex-IMC. I don't trust him, and neither should you.
War changes a man. It's a hard life keeping the peace on the frontier. Everyone has their limits.
Transferring to pilot.
TitanFall.
Welcome to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. This week we're going to discuss TitanFall. March 22nd is coming up on us very quickly. And at the time of this podcast, it's 3 days away. So one of our mins, Inked and Holy, which we refer to him as Dick Rice, I'm sure his real name's Rick, but I like calling him Dick because he's a dick, did some hard knock research to try and find out what Titanfall is all about. So Rick, tell us a little bit about Titanfall.
Alright, well, originally, as of right now, Titanfall has already actually been released for Xbox One and PC. It will be released for 360 as of the 22nd. Basically, best way to put it, it was announced in E3, June of last year, that it will be coming out Xbox One, 360, and PC. It's Xbox's first exclusive only for the new console. Pretty much, I mean, you're looking at it's a Call of Duty game with the addition of mechs. The advantage to it is it was created by Respawn. Respawn's a new company that's come out. It is actually two of the head developers from Infinity Ward that got fired for reasons that you could look up on your own, but they got fired. They ended up taking half the staff of Infinity Ward and took them and made Respawn. So now we have a company that is created that pretty much was the head creators of Call of Duty and is now making their own product. It's basically being labeled as the next step for first-person shooters.
Okay. Now, there's a lot. One thing that we can both agree to is that Xbox hasn't really had an exclusive in a while, and I think their strongest exclusives that they've had over the last few years has been Halo, which has been beaten black and blue, and everyone's really at the point of not caring anymore. Gears of War, which had a fantastic run, and the final, I guess you would say, installment fell very short. And they had the Fable series as well, which kind of, just rode off in the sunset. So Titanfall is coming across as it's going to be Xbox's new thing, and it's going to help them catch up in the console wars. Because if you really think about it, PlayStation's got them by the nuts right now, especially in a lot of different directions, and it started well before the PS4 and the Xbox One with PlayStation locking down certain developers like Naughty Dog to be an exclusive to them. Now, with Titanfall, we all know this is about a mech and a mech character. And is there any type of storyline been released?
Well, it is a multiplayer-based game. So, to say there's a campaign, that would be a lie. Now, I haven't actually played the game, but from everything that I've read, there is storyline that's built into it. They've done a very good job they input people in the game. So you're running around this post-apocalyptic world. You can walk up to people that are not necessarily soldiers and talk to them, everything like that. So they do have a bit of a storyline that's built into it. I don't think that it's going to be like a full-out campaign. It's not a game you can sit and play. I've gone through the entire Call of Duty Ghosts. I went through it all. I played the storyline. It has it continuous. You can sit and play the game by yourself. This isn't a game that you can sit and play by yourself. If you're not with someone else and playing it as split screen, then you're going to be playing it with people online. It is very multiplayer driven. The storyline I've heard like as I said, I haven't played it, but there is a storyline built into it. I think it's more of just to explain what's happened, why you're in the world that you are doing what you're doing.
Okay, I guess this sounds like a Left 4 Dead, I'm not sure if you played that, kind of scenario where, sure, you can play the game alone, but it forces you into a position that you need to have a multiplayer. It makes the game a lot easier, the more people that you can play with. Now, what is the concept of this game, I guess I would ask next. Sorry.
Well, basically the concept, it's first-person shooter. You start out on foot. You can have players in your team that start out in the Titans, which are basically just giant mechs. You go through, and it's your typical multiplayer games. There's Deathmatch. There's Last Mech Standing, or Last Titan, as they call it. You go through various multiplayers. So you're pretty much looking at, anywhere from 5 to 10 to 15 minute games. I have seen ones that last upwards of half an hour. Just because, the whole premise on it is it's not a timed-based battle. The winner of how you win it is you destroy all the other person's Titans, which is a plus for me. It's not a matter of, kill everyone, go through. So, basically, the premise, you're in a post-apocalyptic world. You are trying to hold back basically a militia that's going through. They have the same weapons technology, everything like that. You're going through doing individual little battles that go, like I said, throughout a time span, not necessarily based on time, but to win the battle at that point. If you don't win, you get picked up. That's the end of that round.
Okay, and going on from that point, I think the major things that sold me on this game was when we saw that demo from E3. I think it was E3. Just the graphics alone, and I'm not a huge person to go about graphics because, realistically, the bar has been set by other games like Last of Us and so forth, but it captivates you, and it makes you want to continuously watch. They've also snagged two of the biggest composers in the gaming industry today, one that they actually took away from from the Call of Duty camp, but they also took one of my personal favorites, Harry Gregson Williams, who did the Metal Gear Solid, and that just blows my mind. So I think the selling point of this game when you watch the trailer is that you're literally stuck in awe watching how well this game was done, and especially the music as well. They put a lot of money into this. I think you said this is their first game they really did as a new company.
Yep, this is the first full-out Respawn game since the two of them got let go from InfinityWare. So Respawn is a brand new company. If this is what they're going to be putting out, I can't wait to see what else comes down the pipeline.
Well, and I agree. I haven't played the game, and I won't lie to you, I am not sold by an Xbox One in any shape or form. And I'm not going to say that because I'm a PlayStation fanboy, because I own an Xbox 360. And the main reason why I got an Xbox 360 is to play the exclusives like Gears of War, Left 4 Dead, and etc. does this game, should you get the game on 360, or should you just go out and get an Xbox One at this point? Because there's probably a massive difference between the two in terms of graphics and quality. But is it worth it again for a 360?
Honestly, I mean, when I was doing research and looking at it, I did get to a point where I honestly considered it. Now, I mean, you will agree with me, I am a PlayStation loyalty person. I love my PlayStation. I love PlayStation Network, everything about it. I have an Xbox 360. Honestly, the wife plays exercise games on it. We really don't use it other than that. I did, for a little while, consider looking and getting the Xbox One, mainly because Xbox One, their standard price tag is $499. You can go get the Titanfall bundle with the Xbox One, all the cameras, everything that it normally comes with, for the exact same price. So that was a huge draw. I mean, you're basically getting the game as well as a specialty controller, which is kind of whatever. But, I mean, the game itself is $60. You're getting, I mean, an extra $60 for free on that. I did consider it. The backwards compatibility stopped me from even considering it. There is going to be a huge difference between the graphics on the Xbox One compared to the 360. I already know that. As of the 22nd, I'm probably going to end up getting it, though.
And I think that's always going to be the problem with the console wars, is the backwards compatibility issue. And it makes sense why they don't do it, because it's all about making the buck. We get it. But at the same time, though, they forget that there's a lot of loyal gamers out there that will still buy the copy on both a 360 and an Xbox One if the opportunity is provided. But they don't want to turn into that pyramid scheme that they never make money on the new consoles because everyone, or the other way around, because everyone's just buying one copy and sharing it. And that makes a lot of sense. But I don't think they're going to have that issue with Titanfall, because just in the footage that I've watched, the 360 versus Xbox One comparison is blatant. It is better on the Xbox One. With the PlayStation 4, you have the ability to pay a $10 dummy fee to play a PlayStation 3 game and transfer it over to the PlayStation 4. And I don't really see a point in it. I mean, I can see the difference in the exchange, but the games that are out there don't make me want to do it. If it was like because I'm a certain fanboy, which we both agree that I'm a huge a Metal Gear fan, so they said, well, if you want to move Metal Gear Solid 4 over to the PS4, I probably would do that, because I know there'd be a huge difference, but there's no titles on the PlayStation 4 that would make me want to transfer it. But I think Titanfall is different. I think Titanfall represents change in the FPS market. I think that the crew that left Infinity Ward, on their own reasons, I guess we will constantly say, have decided that it's time to make a change. And I think Respawn is showing change, and Titanfall is that change.
I absolutely agree. I mean, they've added so many things when I look into this game. One of the biggest things that I want to touch on is I am not good at first-person shooters. Okay,
I can agree to that comment.
Yeah, you'll agree.
Say that many times.
I love playing them. They're a lot of fun, and they're great. Me and Todd logged many hours on, Call of Duty Zombies and now Call of Duty Extinction. They're so much fun. But, we pick those games because when you're doing so many first-person games, you get those, for lack of a better term, grandma's boys that do nothing but sit and play games constantly. And anytime I play multiplayer on Call of Duty, which I have a buddy that always does it, I find myself getting nothing but spawn killed. Like, oh, I'm doing good, I still have not killed anyone. One of the things they added in this game is there's bots, okay? So you have AI characters that just run around basically acting stupid, so you can kill them and still level up. So even if you are getting spawn killed and there's people out there who are insanely good at these games and they're just slaughtering everyone around, you're still going to level up. You're still going to progress in the game. One of the biggest frustrations is just constantly getting killed. and not killing anyone. So if I can go through, even if I'm killing an AI character, I'm leveling up, I'm doing good, it still feels good. So they've added more things to this game to make even the novice player, such as myself, feel good while they're playing it, and not just rage quit and throw the remote through their TV.
Oh, that's happened many of times. Especially the end of the chapter of Extinction, when we finally got to the end of the first chapter and we all wiped, and we have never been there again.
And a lot of those games, you have to find someone, like, hope that you get someone who's going to carry you to the end. Well, I do anyway.
Well,
and like I said, I suck at first-person shooters. I love them. They're fun. What can you do?
So, just before we wrap this up here, all right, just a couple questions left. One, do you think this is the game changer in the console wars? Do you think PlayStation needs to take Xbox seriously again because of this game alone?
Honestly, yes. I believe this could be the game changer. Like I said, I am a diehard PlayStation fan. For quite a while, I did consider going and getting an Xbox One just so that I could play this game. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to do it. I know I've talked to a few people that are. So, yes, PlayStation, they need to come up with something good if that's what they're going to do, because this is definitely going to be something that a lot of people may very well switch to Xbox just for.
Okay. And we talked a lot of pros, and I'm sure you still have a few. Is there a few pros that you haven't mentioned about Titanfall?
Well, there are. There's a couple things. One of the things is, you can go through and not only do you have, yes, it's Call of Duty pretty much with mechs. So you have the option, you can focus on just your pilot, which is your ground character. You can level him up, you can give him new weapons, everything like that. Or you can go through and you can level up your mechs. Now you can't customize your mech, unfortunately, at this point. There are rumors that you may be able to, but you're pretty much left with as it is. It can get stronger as you go, but I like the fact that I can play this as just a person doing first-person shooter, or I can jump onto the mech and I can upgrade that. The other thing that I really loved is, as I was saying, you can kill bots and you can level up and everything like that. One of the things that I watched on the videos, and I actually ended up getting really excited while I was watching this, is even if your team leaves, or loses, you still have what's called the Mad Dash. So you have 30 seconds, you have to get to this point, and if you get to it, you still get all these different, level ups, everything that'll go through it. So, there is so much added to the game that even if, like I said, you're a shitty player like I am, you can still level up, you can still do everything like that. And, come on, it's a first-person shooter that you can either be a person or you can be a giant fucking robot that destroys the city. How cool is that to begin with?
That sounds pretty awesome. Now, I guess we have to talk about the cons. It wouldn't be fair if we didn't talk about the cons. So what cons do you have listed for this?
First off, and I understand that they have to have their own. It's an Xbox exclusive. As I said, I'm a diehard PlayStation fan. I am a little upset that I can't get this for my PlayStation. I love the PlayStation controller. That means I'd have to use the Xbox. It's not as comfortable for me. I'm not big on the fact that it is a multiplayer only. It is required that you have the Xbox Gold membership. So, if you're looking for a story, and as I said, playing it by yourself and sitting there, this isn't going to be a game that you can really do. In the game itself, there's only 3 Titans. You have your fast and agile, you have your typical, basically starter Titan, and then you have your huge Goliath, kick everything's ass Titan. And that's expected. There are rumors, as I said, that they're going to be releasing more as they go. That'll be nice to see. Another one that I've seen as a big complaint online is there's no clan or group support. So you can't get your group of friends going to get your own group constantly and go through, have a clan that you level up as a group, everything like that. That would be something, I'd like to see them add. We all play with the same people on a regular basis, so to be able to level up your group of people would definitely be a plus. But all in all, those are really only the only cons that I've seen at it. As I said, I haven't played the game yet. This is just from the tons and tons and tons of research that I've done, because I have a huge wood for this game. But at this point, it definitely does look like the game changer that they're making it out to be.
Well, this definitely was a very informative session I think we had today. And I think just listening to your cons, the cons really stem not as much from the game itself, more from Xbox's way on how to obtain their online audience. And I think that, and this is why I don't want to turn this into a whole why a PlayStation is better moment, but I think that if they were a little bit more laxed on the online play and you didn't require certain memberships to do X, Y, and Z, they probably would have a higher take rate. Realistically, if you think about it, what would you rather do? Play the console with a free online play or play the console that you have to pay for it? It's a no-brainer. Like, you'll have your loyal fans, sure, but Titanfall can flourish, become something so much bigger if the user didn't have to pay $300 for the console, $60 for the game, $50 for the gold membership. Like, you're just burning money constantly. Sure, Xbox is making money, but eventually the consumer or the gamer is eventually going to say, fuck this. This has cost me way too much money. I don't need Titanfall that bad.
Yeah.
And that can really... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'll say, and that's what I'm running into at this point. Like I said, I have the 360. I have the minimal 360 because, as I said, we don't use it that whole much. So that means just to play the game, I have to spend $60 on the game. I have to buy an external hard drive so that I can even load the game, because it's a 4.5 gig install. And I have to spend the $30 on the Xbox Gold membership. So I'm looking at like $150 just for one game.
No. See, and as much as I want to play this game, and just before we started today's podcast, one of our admins quickly threw out, "Oh yeah, you should check out Angry Joe's review." I think Rick's not really familiar with Angry Joe, but I am. There's a lot of positives I heard out of his review just before we started. But, Angry Joe is known for being Angry Joe. There's just no way out of it, and he just likes yelling sometimes for the sake of yelling. So, I think this First Impression podcast was a very informative podcast, in that maybe after we get a chance to sit down and play the game, we can come back and revisit it and point out more positives or more negatives if need be. I think that'd be a good idea personally.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, as of the 22nd, I'm probably going to do everything I can to find a way to get it. So, we will definitely revisit it and go from there. Like I said before, if this is what Respawn is going to be putting out for their very first game, then I am anxious to see what else they're going to be coming out. But for a first effort, it's crazy what they're able to do with what they actually have. So we'll give them credit in the fact that, you may not have clans, you may not have this. There's all kinds of things that there's tons of people that are going to be upset about. But given that this is the company's first endeavor in making a game itself,
yeah,
I think we need to give them a lot of credit.
And I do, and I think what they've done thus far has been very impressive, and like I said, the game's been out for a while on the Xbox One. There's not many reviews on that, because not a lot of people have an Xbox One. So, I think with the 360, we're going to see a massive influx of reviews on it, and hopefully in that time you'll be able to obtain, like I said, your own copy and give it a shot. And then, we can sit down and revisit this conversation. I think that'd be pretty awesome.
I think that definitely sounds like a plan, and now I have another reason to get it.
There you go. So, you have any other questions, comments, concerns you want to share with our audience today?
No, honestly, I mean, at this point, if you have, like I said, we haven't played the game. If you have, definitely give us our comments, give us reviews, give us what you think of the game. Let us know, is the game changer that they say that it's going to be? And if there's anything we haven't touched on, feel free to let us know on the page or message us directly. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't wait for it to come out, and I can't wait to see what's coming down the pipeline.
And I agree, and I look forward to it. Well, thanks for listening to us, of course. Like our page at facebook.com, the Droids You Are Looking For Canada. Also follow us on Twitter, our name abbreviated _Canada. Send us an email at the Droids You Are Looking For Canada at outlook.com. Definitely, there's multiple ways for you to get a hold of us. And also, the Droids You Are Looking For .podbean.com to listen to our podcast. Thank you for listening to our podcast, and we'll do something soon. We got a couple things up our sleeves. Me and Rick will eventually be hosting a very interesting fantasy battle. Should we tell them, Rick? Should we tell them what we're up to?
No, let's leave it as a surprise.
Okay, we'll leave it as a surprise.
I guess.
It will be fun, because that means I gotta do all the audio work in the meantime, so it'll be fun. Anyways, enjoy your chimichanga.
Game over, man! It's game over!
Thanks for listening to the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. Stay tuned for next week's podcast.
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.